Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, GHA family and friends. We are back with another homework helper video, and today this one is for 5th grade. It is Module 3, Lesson 7, okay? So it says solve the word problems and then show all of your work. All right, so I'm gonna read number 1. I'm gonna go over number 1, and I'm gonna go over number 4, okay? You have 5 story problems in this, so you're gonna have to show your work, and then you're gonna have to put a complete sentence or two to explain your answer. All right, so number 1 says, Christine baked a pumpkin pie. She ate 1/6 of the pie and then gave it to her brother, and he ate 1/3 of it. And then he gave the leftovers to his friends. So we wanna know what fraction of the pie did he give to his friends? So we got 2 fractions here. We need to add those up, okay? And then we are going to subtract that from a whole, okay? So they ate portions of a whole pie. When we add it together, we'll see exactly how much they ate and how much was left that he gave to his friends, okay? So first things first, we have 1/6 plus 1/3. We cannot add these straight up because they do not have the same denominator. So we have to make them have the same denominator or common denominator by multiplying the 2. So 6 times 3 is 18. So that means that our new fractions are going to have 18 as the denominator. And since we're adding, the sum is also going to have 18 in the denominator, okay? So we took that 6 and turned it to 18. That means we had to multiply by 3. So we also have to multiply the 1 by 3. We took this 3 and we multiplied it by 6 to get 18. So we have to multiply the 1 by 6, okay? Now we have our new fraction problem, and we have our denominators already set up. So now we can go ahead and add our numerators together. So we have 3 plus 6 gives us 9, okay? 9 of 18, 9 out of 18, 9 over 18, 9/18 is equivalent to 1/2, okay? All right, that means that 9 is half of 18, all right? So we need to subtract from 1 whole, 1 and 9, or 1, take away 9/18. Okay, very simple. We need to make a fraction out of this number. It has to have the same denominator and still be equal to 1, all right? So I always come over and do a couple of examples. That is equal to 1. This is equal to 1, okay? That is equal to 1, all right? This is equal to 1 as well, okay? All of these are equal to 1. So if I need to have a fraction here that equals 1 and it has to have a denominator of 18, we would put 18 over 18. So that's the full pie right there. Now we're gonna subtract what the brother and the sister Christine ate. And so now we're gonna find out how much they have left so that the brother can give it to his friends. We know that when we're subtracting or adding fractions, when the denominators are the same, it's also in our answer. Now we're looking for the difference. So 18 minus 9 is gonna give us 9, okay? So Christine and her brother ate half of the pie, and they gave the other half to the friends. So you would say something like, the brother gave his friends 9/18 of the pie, all right? Very simple. And now I'm going to go over number 4 for you guys, because it looks pretty difficult, okay? I even had a little struggle with it. So number 4 says, Mr. Rivas bought a can of paint. He used 3/8 of that can of paint to paint a bookshelf. And then he used 1/4 of that can of paint to paint a wagon, all right? He used some of it to paint a birdhouse and now has 1/8 of the paint left. How much paint did he use for the birdhouse? So first things first, we need to take our first 2 fractions and add them together, because that was used on the bookshelf and then he used 1/4 on the wagon. So we're gonna put those together, 3/8 plus 1/4. All right, so we can't add these right away, so we have to multiply to find the common denominator, which is 32, okay? So we had to multiply the 8 by 4, so we're gonna multiply the 3 by 4, and we end up with 12 over 32. And we're still adding, So now we multiply the 4 by 8 to get 32. So we have to multiply the 1 by 8, and we get 8 over 32. Okay. We know when adding, our denominator is going to stay the same all the way through to our sum. And then we can add our numerators, 12 plus 8. 12 plus 8 equals 20. Okay? So now we know how much paint he has used, and we know the full amount that he has. Okay? So now we can take this and we can subtract this number from 1 whole. Okay? So we have 1 minus 20 over 32. Okay? So what can we change this to? It has to be a fraction with the denominator of 32 that's still going to equal 1 is going to be 32 over 32. That equals 1 minus 20 over 32. All right. So we have the same denominator, so we can go ahead and subtract, and we know the denominator stays the same. Our numerators, the top numbers, 32 minus 20, leaves us with 12, okay? All right, so now that we have our 12 over 32, we know that we can now subtract our 1/8 from this so that we can find out how much he used on the birdhouse, okay? I don't want to delete the whole thing. Okay, so we're gonna take our 12 over 32 or 12 32nds. I don't know how you would say that exactly, so I just say 12 over 32. 12 over 32, and we're going to subtract 1/8. Okay, so we can leave this the same. We need to make this 8. We need to bring it up to a 32, so we're going to multiply by 4. And whatever we do to the bottom, we have to do to the top. Okay, so let's formulate the new problem. We have 12 over 32 minus 1. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm about to write the same thing over and over. Okay, so 4 times 1 is 4, and then 4 times 8 will give us that 32 that we needed. So now we can go ahead and subtract. We know that we're looking for the difference now, and our denominator is going to stay the same all the way through. And then 12 minus 4 leaves us with 8, okay? So we have 8 out of 32, all right? This is how much he used on the birdhouse, okay? So this fraction here that we have is not in simplest form, okay? Or it's not in lowest terms. All right, so what we would do is we would find out what we can divide both of these numbers by so that we can get it as small as possible. And that number would be 8, because if we divide 8 by 8, we get 1 at the top. And if we divide 32 by 8, we get 4 down at the bottom. And this is in lowest terms, all right, 1/4, okay? So you would come back to your question and you would read the last part. It says, how much paint did he use for the birdhouse, okay? So we found out how much paint he used for the birdhouse. It's 8 over 32 or 1/4, whichever those you would like to put would be the correct answer. All right. So you would say, Mr. Revis used 1/4 can of paint to paint the birdhouse. Perfect. All right. Have a good evening.